Hey, what's up, guys? Apologize for the sunglasses. I'm out in my car. It's super bright, so I'm going to keep these on. But I want to touch on today is turnover rate and how quickly you can expect to start making money doing books. I think that's the most popular question I'm asked is how quickly will I make money selling books and how much can I expect? And obviously, it's going to be different depending on how much you're sourcing, how much you're sending in. But I guess what I could do is go off the average. What I tend to hear people say is, if you're somewhat consistent sending in books, and let's say you're sending in 100 books a week, you should expect to sell about, so if it was 100 a week, right, 400 total in a month, you should sell about 100 of those books per month if they are priced correctly. And by correctly, I mean somewhat decently. I have a repricer, but my repricing settings are not very aggressive. And I still am selling around 29% of my inventory every month. So let's go with 25% on the lower end. And let's say, again, you did 400 books in a month, 100 a week. You would sell about 100 of those books. Now, I make on average about $7 right now, currently, the last month, $7, and I think it was 89 cents back per book. That doesn't mean profit. That means my payout per book is $7.89, around there. So let's just for simplicity's sake round up to $8. So if you did 100 books, that's $800 back that you would get. And so one of the big issues here with booksellers is they're not. I think I see this a lot with private label too. I used to be a private label seller. They think that they need less money than they do when they start. If you're starting this business and you have, say, only $500 to $1,000 to spend on books, you're not going to be in a good spot. And that's just being straight up with you, especially when you're buying 100 a week. And in a simplistic example, let's say that on average, you're buying books for $2 a piece and you're buying 100 a week. You're spending $200 a week on books, which means you're spending $800 a month. Now, if you have 1,000, you're almost going to be out of money by the end of the 30 days. And if you're just starting and sending in books, your turnover time is going to be longer, obviously, in the very beginning because you don't have those books in inventory turning over. And it takes, let's say you send books out on a Friday, it's going to be at least till the following Friday that they go live once they're sent out. So, you basically disregard the first 2 weeks that you're sourcing because you won't have inventory live in by then anyway. So, let's just, for example, look at month 1. You'll probably get back if you start, let's say you start the 1st of October coming up, right? You source 100 books a week. Your first 200 books are probably going to be in by the second half of the month, which you might get a payout on all those and call it $200 minimum, 200 bucks. So what's going to happen is if you start this business, and I know this is getting confused with numbers, I'm trying to keep it simple for you guys. If you start with $1,000, you're going to run into a cash flow problem, and you're going to run into it probably on your first 5 or 6 weeks of sourcing books. And then at that point, if you have a credit card, you're probably going to start putting money on your credit card. And now that's where it's going to get a little dicey, especially if you're scaling up, because you're going to start spending more and more money on books, right? Well, with books, you don't necessarily it's hard to get your cash flow further along or quicker than the money you're spending on books when you're scaling up. In fact, it's almost impossible. So you have to play some balancing act with cash flow versus the money you're getting back from Amazon, because it's not, the pace of which you get money back is not going to be as fast as the pace that you're spending books on, if that makes sense. I see it now in my operation. I'm on month 7 now, and my last payout for 2 weeks was $4,500, and this next one's going to be a little less. It's probably going to be like $3,800. So that means I'm getting about $8,000 a month in cash flow, not income or anything. It's cash flow back from the business. So for me, I'm trying to go through about, my goal is 66 Gaylords a week now. So for me to buy 66 Gaylords a week, I'm spending way more than the $8,000 in cash flow I'm getting a month. So I'm still, and that's because I'm scaling up, guys. I just went from, I was basically doing like 12 to 16 a week. Now I'm trying to do 66 a week. So I'm digging myself into somewhat of a hole, but I'm not short on cash. That's the thing. I have plenty of cash in the bank. I saved it up from prior jobs. I also have a coffee business right now that's running itself. It's not making me a ton of money, but I also have a consulting business on Amazon that has a couple clients that pay me decently. So I have other things going. This isn't all I have going, so I'm at an advantage with that. And I want you guys to know all the facts and be equipped to make good decisions. So don't think you can just start this like all these guys are touting out there, $500, $1,000, you're going to kill it. Just feed the beast, send in books. You need to set yourself up from the beginning and start off wisely. So here's my recommendation. If you have $1,000 or you have $500 or you're in that kind of spot like that, I think that it is okay for you to go fast in the beginning and buy up as much inventory as you can and send in books as quick as you can. But when you start running into cash flow issues, I don't think it's okay to start loading your credit card up. I really don't. Wait for the Amazon payments to come back to you in your account and use the cash flow you're getting from Amazon in order to buy more books. If you're buying right, your deposits from books you're getting back is going to build the amount of inventory you have. Now, it might take you longer, but you're building a business. Remember that. You're building a business. So, you're not going to build it overnight. And if you do this, it's going to be safer, and it's just going to be a lot more efficient. And also you will not, you're not going to stress about where's the cash? Why am I spending more than I'm making? Why, it's like you gotta stay focused and make good decisions on a daily basis for this business and any other business. I mean, this whole thing I'm talking about with cash flow and everything, this isn't like a unique thing with books. This is with any physical products business. Cash flow is always a problem. So don't, be the tortoise, not the hare, I guess is what I'm trying to say there. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below in the comments section. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And as always, I'm going to continue to give you guys updates like I always do. I've never been misleading on anything. I've been forthcoming with everything that I do. All my numbers are there. If you haven't seen kind of where I'm at with my journey, go back in prior episodes. I put everything down to the dollar of what I've done in sales, what I'm making, what I'm spending my money on, my cost per book. It's all there, you guys. So there's no, there's no facade here. I'm not making millions. In fact, I'm barely making tens of thousands right now. You can, like I said, you can look back. Last month, my profit margin was 25. I think it was 23%. I was about to say 25. But I learned I can get it up to 28% by doing LTL shipments, which will only cost me 9 cents a pound to ship books versus the 25 I was paying before. So that's going to be huge for me because I send in thousands of books a month. So, my sales were 16.5 And so 25%, I did just under $4,000 in net profit. I have expenses. I have a warehouse to pay for. I have utilities. I have software. I have truck expenses that I have to pay for. I think I paid something like $1,400 in truck fees alone just in 1 month. So, my situation might be unique. I'm literally scaling like this. I've only been doing this 6 months. I'm on month 7. If I was to just level out right now and maximize profit and stay around 16.5, I probably could net about $5,000 a month. And that's pretty amazing. That's a $60,000 income, which most people make a little less than that after building a business for 6 months, you guys. That's pretty crazy. And that's real. And that's pretty wild to think about. And that's with not much risk. I have made some other significant purchases lately that are not even really going to benefit me until, the next coming months. One was a stacker, an electronic stacker, which cost me $4,500. But other than that, the only real risks and money down I've taken was to do, things like get the warehouse. I had an $1,800 deposit, and then I'm paying $1,650 a month for rent. So a lot of upside potential for very little risk. And so again, any questions you have, please let me know. I'm here for you guys. Have a great day. I'm going to try and post another video after this. If you haven't subscribed, please do. You'll be doing yourself a huge favor. I'll never lead you astray, and I am here for you. So we'll talk later, guys. Thanks.